Hey, good morning and welcome, my hyper-observant traders, to our session this beautiful Saturday morning. I know it's lockdown, so let's have a bit of a productive one this weekend. We're going to have my session first, but I just introduced the next speaker, which is Mr. Afnan Firdaus. He's from the TAD Trading Systems team, and then we'll cover a bit of warrants later around 10:15. We're going to have a lot of things ahead, but the reason we actually had this session this year, this brand new series, is because I speak to a lot of traders as we go along. Every day we're chatting to about 50 different traders, and we realized that the biggest mistake traders made in 2020 was that, number one, they always chose the wrong underlying. So before you actually choose a warrant, you need to choose the right underlying stock, right? And when you choose the right underlying stock, you need to be, number one, prepared with your technical, fundamental, whatever analysis you like to use. And number two, have the confidence to actually take action. Now, these breakout systems that we had last week, we had Andy Yu, last week, we had Andy Yu from the Art Trading System team. He's the founder. And Fred Tam's TAD system today. What these systems do is they actually give you a confirmation. They actually show you, they actually analyze the technical signals, and then they show you a buy or sell arrow. So it just gives you a bit of a confidence boost. But the main thing is you need to understand how these systems came about. What is the backbone behind them? What does ART mean? What does TAD mean? What's turtle, atoms, and ducks? They all stand for technical indicators that are very basic, but these systems just show you, they just highlight, these technical signals. So this week we're covering a few important questions during my session, which is, why is live matrix different from the market? Can a warrant's price be zero? And can a warrant's limit up twice in a day? And a lot of other things over the live matrix as well. So the idea is to choose an uptrending stock before you actually choose the right warrant. And these systems help you to do that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. He started trading in 2016. As soon as he turned 18, that's about 5 years ago, I reckon. He has his MSTA from the UK and his CFTE from the USA. These are all technical analysis qualifications. When he was 21 at the time, when he was still studying for his bachelor's in business and management. And he trained under Fred Tam, who invented the TAD system. And he likes barbecue, hot pots, taekwondo, and fishing, and long walks on the beach, and doing webinars for me, etc., and technical analysis. Now, the personal reason that I wanted somebody from Fred Tam's team is because when I was 16 years old, Fred Tam was one of my first few technical analysis mentors. And what happened was I attended the talk with my dad in Penang. And, we love going for all of these free talks and, just sit down somewhere and kind of eat free food and listen to some knowledge and learn and, be very Penangite and judgmental, all that kind of stuff. We went for gold talks until today. Webinars anyway now, this MCO, but I used to go for gold talks, land investing talks, real estate talks, forex trading talks, currency talks, everything. That's why I know that these webinars are really helpful to anybody who wants to learn. But of course, when you learn, you need to actually put it into application. So I've attended numerous talks over the past 10 years, plus. Fred Tam was one of my first few gurus, so I do owe him a lot. And he's one of the, I can't say that from a technical standpoint, it is hard for anybody to beat him. He's incredibly knowledgeable, and Afnan is one of his proteges. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Afnan from the TAD Trading System team.
Hi, Isabel. How are you?
Morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
How are you doing, man? Where are you?
I'm good. I'm at home almost every day.
Yes, same here. It is a great joy.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Afnan, over to you. Nice to see your face, even though we haven't met in real life.
All right, once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome. So today on my part, I'll be talking about the TAD system. So in this TAD system, it can help traders to spot technically bullish and uptrending stocks easily, and it's also mechanical, and computerized. So before we begin, just a little bit about my background, which Isabel has mentioned. So I'm a senior technical analyst at F1 Academy of Technical Analysis, Senior Berhad. I have the MESTI UK, CFTE from USA. I also have a Bachelor of Business Management from Segi University. Now, although I'm here presenting TAD, I'm not the one who invented it. The one who invented it was Mr. Fred Tam. So who is he? Mr. Fred Tam, he was a former fund manager back in 1996. He was also a researcher, and that is how he discovered the TAD system back in 2017. He's also an educator, one of the lecturers for our 3-month course, which we have a collaboration with Asia Metropolitan University. And we also prepare students to take the prestigious STA UK exam. He's also an author of 8 best-selling books. But the ones that are still available in the market right now are just the top 4 here. The first book here is one of the best-selling books. You can find them at any popular bookstore near you. Just go to the finance section, go to the bestseller. You won't miss it. So about this book, it was published back in 2015 about how a super trader made this much money with just chart pattern analysis trading the US stocks. So this book, since it's getting more popularity, it will soon be translated in Vietnamese language. So his second best book is the Japanese Candlestick Chart, also published in the same year. And the cool thing is, this book is endorsed by Steve Nissen, the person who introduced Japanese candlestick to the Western world. Now, about this previous book, so although it was published in 2015, chart pattern wasn't just discovered in 2015. It was actually discovered by this person, Richard Schwarbecker, back in 1930s. That is how old chart pattern analysis is. But it wasn't famous yet. The one who made it famous was him, Dan Zanger. He was just a swimming pool contractor before that. So he's the one that made chart pattern analysis famous by making this much money in 23 months. And it was during the 1998 to 1999, during the super bull run. So this is one of the success stories of technical analysis. But other than him, we have other traders. Here it says top 4, but this is the first top 5. The first one is Richard Dennis. He traded commodities using this system called Turtle. He used it for 10 years, and he made this much money, from 1,600 to 200 million. So the second person, Dan Zanger, the person I mentioned just now. And then there's Larry Williams, Kenneth Griffins, and Michael Marcus. So how did they all do it? Technical analysis. And just for your information, Richard Dennis, he traded using the Turtle system, and TAD system is actually based on Turtle. So before we get to that, what is Turtle actually? It is actually Downtrend channel, all right? But it was only made famous and improved by Richard Dennis. So Downtrend channel was invented by Richard Downtrend back in 1960s. It's a trend following system. This is how it looks like, all right? But only in 1983 until 1993, it was made famous by Richard Dennis here. So how it works is, Downtrend channel, look at this red line. So this is what we call the resistance line. So the rule is, if the price closes above the highest high of the last 20 days, then there's a technical buy signal. Down here, the support line. So if price closes below the lowest low of the last 20 days, there's a technical sell signal. So these are the original parameters. So what happened here is Richard Dennis, he tweaked this parameter. Up here will remain 20 days. Down here is changed to 10 days. Okay? Because the market tends to fall faster than they go up. So Richard Dennis, He used it until 1993, and then he disbanded it. Everyone knew about turtle, but no one really took it seriously. So the formula was just like floating around the internet. No one used it. And in Malaysia, it wasn't famous until Mr. Fred introduced it around 2002. So for Malaysia market, that's where he added more of his formula, the atom and the duck, to be used together with turtle. So this is how much money Richard Dennis made using turtle alone to trade commodities. So a disclaimer here. So in this webinar, in short, everything that I will explain and show to you are just for information and educational purposes only. So when I show you buy signal, sell signal, it's all based on technical analysis. Not to say they are guaranteed to work. It's just that the odds of success is higher. And I also have both examples of old charts and new charts. All right. So the contents that we'll see today are types of charts, chart construction, trends. Then we get to TAD after you understand the first few, the first three. After TAD, then it's the entry and exit strategy with TAD. After that, when to cut loss when you're wrong, and also when to take profit when you are right. Then we'll have trading ideas, then quiz, and finally Q&A. So before we begin, just to make sure everyone's on the same page, I need to go through even the simple things. So what is technical analysis? So the formal definition is the study of price action, primarily through the use of charts for the purpose of forecasting future price trends. So what does this mean? What is the market action? Market action is price, volume, and open interest. Now, if you're trading stocks, you don't need to know this, open interest, because stocks do not have this. In stocks, we will only look at price and volume. In other words, price action. So the next part, types of charts. So there are many types of charts, but here are the 5 popular ones. Japanese candlestick charts, bar charts, line charts, point and figure charts, and moving average chart. So what are these? You don't have to know all this for just the first one, because this is what we will focus on. If you have never seen a candlestick chart before, you've probably seen this normal average chart, the line chart. So basically, it just shows the price movement based on a single line. Or maybe sometimes you might see this mountain chart. See, it's similar. Maybe this one can give clearer information to some people. But this is Japanese candlestick. It can give us more information if we know how to interpret it. So the chart construction of a Japanese candlestick. What you need is the opening price, high, low, and closing price. So first, what do? Step 1, you mark the opening and closing price. So in Malaysia, market starts to trade at 9 a.m. So down here shows what price the stock starts to trade at. And then up here is where it ends at. So Malaysia market stops trading, it closed at 5 p.m. And after that, you just box it up. Okay, and then you join the high, which is this, a single line. It's also labeled as H. And then you join the low, which is here, labeled as L. Now, if the Japanese candlestick, if the color is green, that means the closing is higher than the opening, like this. So if it's red, it's the opposite. If it's red, the closing is lower than the opening price. But the high and low remains the same. So each of those parts, what do they mean? Up here is, we call it the upper shadow. So it's the highest price the stock has reached on that day. So this one, if it's green, this is the closing price. So for the center section here, the real body is this. It's just the difference between the opening price and closing price. So if this is red, that means opening is here, closing is here. And the last one here is the lowest shadow. The lowest price the stock has reached on that day. So what does this all mean? Let me give you an example. So the market starts at 9 a.m., ends at 5 p.m. If they start at 1 ringgit, and then market moves up, down, and then it touches 90 cents. And then it goes up again, it touches 1 ringgit 50 cents. Finally, at 5 p.m., it closes at 1 ringgit and 40 cents. So on the candlestick, what it means is, it's telling us that price started at 1 ringgit, touched the lowest price, 90 cents. Highest, 1 ringgit 50 cents. But by 5 p.m., it closes at 1 ringgit 40 cents. So one candlestick represents 1 day. It can give us this information. So if it's a green candle, it is a bullish day. For your information, in trading, if you see the words bulls and bears, this one just means buyers, and these are sellers. So a bullish day means on that day, buyers are stronger. Hence, that's why price started lower but ends up higher. They push the price up. Another example. At 9 a.m., it starts here, then it touches here, then it goes low. But this is not the lowest. The lowest point is here. So this will be the low. And by 5 p.m., it closes at 1 ringgit. So on the candlestick, it tells us that the opening price is here, high is here, low is here, and closing price is here. Since it's red, that means sellers are stronger. It is a bearish day. Another example. Price starts here, the high is here, then it goes down, the low is here, but then it closes at the same price as the opening price. So the candlestick will look like this. Okay, it looks like a cross. So this is what we call a doji, when price opens and closes at the same price. So this tells us that there's a market indecision on that day. The market doesn't know, it's not sure where to go. Who won, the bulls or the bears? Okay, so once you understand this, we can move on to the next part, trends. So the basic concepts of trend. What is trend? The general direction that the price is moving in. So we know that stock, they go up, they go down, but they don't go up like this in a straight line. If they go up, they will go in a zigzag manner. All right, yes, in between, price falls a bit, but the general direction is going upward. So this is what we want. This is trend. So speaking of trend, us technicians or chartists, we believe that markets do trend. And the whole purpose of studying the charts is to identify the trend of the market, all for the purpose of trading in the direction of the major trend. Because if you want to make money, you have to find a stock that's going up, not going down. So trends, there are 3 directions of trend. First is uptrend, all right? Uptrend. Then we have a downtrend. It goes down. Okay, it doesn't go down like this. It goes on like this, zigzag. And lastly, we have sideways or consolidation or ranging market. To make it easier, just remember sideways. All right. So sideways, it is flat. So out of all these 3, the ones that you need to catch is just the uptrend. Downtrend, stay out, and sideways also stay out because you'll only lose money there. So what is an uptrend? Okay, it's a series of higher peaks and higher throws. In other words, you see the top here, the peak is getting higher. But not just the peak, also the low. So if both of these are getting higher, okay, we have an uptrend. Here's an example. This is Inari, an old example. So what can we see here? H1, L1, okay, high, low, high, low, high, low. So do you see here? The low is getting higher every single time. Okay, the high is getting higher every single time, and also the low. Another one, H4, L4. So if you see this, okay, you have an uptrending stock. So once you know that this is an uptrending stock, you have two ways to make money. So most people, they know this, which is buy low and then sell high. But not many people know this. Buy high and then you sell higher. For your information, TAD system is based on, it's more to buy high and sell higher. You can also do buy low and sell high, but its main strategy is to buy high and sell higher, you know, to catch momentum stocks. So uptrend done. Now we have downtrend. So it's the opposite, where the highs and the lows are getting lower. All right. So if you see this, there's a downtrend. An example here, Inari again. This is the high, low, high, low, high, and low. You see that? They're getting lower every single time. If you see that, stay out immediately. So the last one, we have sideways or consolidation. So it's where the highs and lows are flat. They do not have to be exactly at the same level. It's just approximately similar level. Like this. Sometimes also they can go like this. All right, they are converging. This is also a sideway if you see it. Here's an example. Inari again. You see that? It's flat. So although it's flat, that means it's not going up, it's not going down. So why should you stay out of a stock like this? You see here, November, December, January, up until August. How many months it stays flat? So if you stay in this kind of stock, you'll only be wasting your time inside here, while other stocks are breaking out and going up. All right. And you notice all these examples I've shown you are all Inari. So I'm trying to show here is that every stock, they'll have all these trends: uptrend, downtrend, and sideways. It's just that we have to look and analyze it to see which trend it is in right now. So all the three trends in one picture, here it is. It goes down, downtrend, sideways, and then uptrend. So again, if you see a downtrend, stay out. Sideways also stay out. You only trade here in its uptrend. Now, if you know chart pattern analysis, then you will know this is what we call a rounding or saucer bottom. So, and also this is actually a typical cycle of a Malaysian stock where it goes down, sideways, and then up again. And usually in a rounding bottom on the right-hand side over here is where the stock is usually more bullish and likely to go uptrending. If you're lucky, it can go up very steeply. So once you understand trends and all this, now we can go on to the TAD system: turtle, atom, and duck. So what is TAD system? It is a trend following system, a buy on breakout system, but you can also use it to buy on dip, a complete standalone trading system, meaning you can also use TAD without using other indicators. Applicable to any financial market, Malaysia stocks, US stocks, you name it. All right, and then TAD system is integrated with this charting software based in Singapore called Share Investor Station, or in short, SI Station. You can see it right here. So in this charting platform also, we have a screener to scan for breakouts whenever we want. So this is how the TAD system looks like on SI Station on this stock, Caramin. So how do we look at this? First, you have to know that this is the turtle, this is atom, and duck. All right, TAD. So what you want to look for is the green arrows here from each indicator. So if you see all 3 green arrows, that means, okay, there's a buy signal there. We call it TAD buy signal or TAD breakout. So once you catch that, you enter and you just hold on to it. It's a buy and hold. You just wait for 3 red arrows to appear, like here. 1, 2, and 3. If you see that, you sell. And if you follow this strategy, with 10,000 ringgit, you'll make 18,000 or 180% in just 5.3 months. So once you sell here, stay out. And when you re-enter, when you see another set of 3 green arrows, like here, re-enter. Okay, very straightforward. So here's the diagram to explain it more clearly. So usually what happens is we have duck, atom, then turtle. All right, you need 3 green arrows. They do not have to appear on the same day, all right? Even like this, duck appears first, then atom, then only turtle, it's okay. Here's a tip if you want to catch a good breakout stock based on TAD. When it breaks out, it has to have good volume. Later we will look at what volume is. And the breakout, the candle has to be firm also. So firm candle, like what kind? This is okay. This is okay. This is not so okay. Why? Because this tells us that price starts here. It goes up until here, but before the market closed, there were sellers coming in, pushing the price back down, all right? So by 5 p.m., price closed to around where it first started. So this tells us that the market was not firm on that day. So even if there is a technical breakout, it is not a firm one. Okay, another example. If you happen to catch a stock that has all 3 green arrows appearing on the same day, this is what we call a golden stock. It's a good catch. That means the breakout is really, really strong based on technicals and TAD. So once you understand how these 3 green arrows work, here's an example again. This is a more recent example. So Pekka, it triggered a TAD buy signal on the 5th of August 2020 over here. So do you notice here? Turtle, okay, there's a sell signal. Atom, there's a sell signal. But duck, it is still okay. So this is how Mr. Fred's atom and duck help to further improve the turtle system. So if you really follow this, that means you'll still be holding the stock until here. So when I captured this screen, it was on the 28th of May. So if you had 10,000 ringgit in this stock, that means you'll make 29,000 or 295% in 9.9 months. So this is TAD, the basic idea. But what is the entry and exit strategy of TAD? There are 3 important things we have to know as traders before we enter a trade. We have to know, first, how to enter. Number 2 is how to exit when we are wrong. Okay? And then only we look at how to take profit when we are right. Why we look at this first when you are wrong? It's because when we trade, think about the risk first, reward later. So we have two smart entries. First, smart entry is the buy on breakout, or BOB. So this is what it looks like. Price goes up. It breaks out the line here. We call it the resistance. It's like a ceiling. So it breaks out. You enter and you ride along the momentum. Another smart entry is BOD, or buy on dip. When a stock is going uptrending, it goes zigzag. So it goes down. The moment it starts to go up again, we enter. This is buy on dip. So the third one here is not a smart entry, but it's also a strategy to buy on technical rebound with fast turtle. So fast turtle is actually a more sensitive variation of the original turtle. So how it works is when price is going down very steeply from the normal turtle, you switch to fast turtle. If you see a buy signal here, you enter and you sell somewhere up here right before it goes back down for a quick profit. All right, but in this webinar, we will only look at BOB and this buy on technical rebound, because for this you have to understand more things in technical analysis like Fibonacci, support resistance, and so on. So the first smart entry, BOB, this turtle line, use it as a pre-alert system to tell you when to stand by. All right, to stand by for this breakout. So the template for BOB, you'll have the turtle, atom, and ducks, and also volume. So we know that all three must have a green arrow, all right? But the most important one here is the turtle, because the turtle tells us the timing of entry and exit. We won't be explaining what atom and ducks are, but for now, just take it as a momentum. So if they are showing green arrows, it means momentum is building. So then we have volume. So what about volume? Volume on the day of the breakout, it should be higher. How high? The general rule is higher than the previous day. All right, like this. So here's a diagram of the turtle lines, the resistance and the support. So the red line here, the resistance, the ceiling, use it as a signal for you to enter, okay, to buy or further buy. So tip number one, as I said just now, wait until the price or candle is approaching the red line like this. And then it goes sideways, very quiet, just for a while. Okay? When you see this, monitor the volume. So usually, when there's a long green candle like this, volume tends to be higher. And then when it starts to go sideways, volume decrease. Okay, it's getting lower. So this is the second tip. Volume dry, relatively small. So look for this. So this is your alert setup. You look for this before the actual breakout actually happens. For the actual breakout, this is what you need to see. If price exceeds the red line, there will be a green arrow below it. So that is the turtle buy signal. So volume, right, as I mentioned, look at it. The rule is, remember, if it's generally higher than the previous day, okay, it's a good breakout. So other than the volume, if you're lucky, if you can see price exceeding the red line much higher, okay, it is a stronger breakout. For an example here, this is QES, enter with turtle buy signal. Look at this. there's a green candle here approaching the red line, the turtle resistance. And you notice Atom already has a green arrow. Okay, momentum is building up. In this case, turtle and duck, the buy signal was triggered on the same day. So that means you are able to stand by here and wait for breakout to happen here. So that's when you enter. So if you follow this, you can see QES going into an uptrend, increasing as much as 180%. Okay, so if you have 10,000 ringgit in this stock, you'll be making around 18,000 in 3.9 months. This is an old example. This is a more recent one, not the latest, but quite recent. So GENMs, for those who don't know, this is Genting Malaysia. So same thing, look. Price is approaching the turtle resistance. And then you look at this, Atom and Duck, green arrows appear. So then you wait for the turtle buy signal. So turtle will tell you the timing to enter. So if you see this, that's when you enter. Genting Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, right now the price is at 2 ringgit 98 cents. Okay, just 1 cent above the closing price of this chart, which was 2 ringgit 97 cents. Okay, so when there's TAD buy signal, it doesn't mean it will go up immediately. Okay, if it does go up, usually it takes a bit of time to rally. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. But the whole point here is to spot potential uptrending stocks at its early stage. Okay, this is suitable for those who like to buy and hold. So the next strategy with fast turtle, okay, buy on technical rebound. When do we use it? When we see a sharp decline, then we switch from the normal turtle to the fast turtle. We look for the buy signal. We see it, enter, sell it somewhere up there before it goes back down again. So when price is falling very sharply, use the fast turtle. Okay, how it works is very simple. Just switch your indicator from the normal turtle to fast turtle. You will automatically see a fast turtle resistance line. So this is it. If price exceeds this level, there will be a buy arrow there. Now, when using the fast turtle, you don't have to look at the Atom and the Duck. Only the fast turtle will do. So if you do, you'll be riding the short rally like this, and you can sell it up here based on either previous resistance, your target, or you can also wait for a fast turtle sell signal. Okay. Same thing. You just turn on the fast turtle indicator, follow the arrows. If it's green, you buy. If it's red, you sell. So before the price goes down, you get out. Quick profit. So this entry based on fast turtle breakout and buying on technical rebound is not suitable for newbies because fast turtle is only to be used under certain circumstances. So if you don't use it in the right context or circumstances, then your signal may be a false one, all right? So this is more to those who are more experienced, okay, for quick profit. Here's an example. Front can. So this was in 2020, around March and April. Sorry, March. So do you notice this part here? Price is falling very steeply. Sharp fall. Okay. It goes on like that, very sharp, almost like forming a V. But before it even formed a V, you see this, the green arrow? There's a fast turtle buy signal on the 24th of March, okay, at 1 ringgit. So to get out, if you follow fast turtle, you'll see a red arrow here. You sell there on the 10th of April, around 1 ringgit and 29 cents. So if you follow this rule, fast turtle rule, with 10,000 ringgit, you'll make 2.9 thousand or 29.3% in just 17 days. Quick profit. Now, when you use fast turtle to buy on technical rebound, sometimes price keeps on falling. Okay, so that's why you sell it before it goes down. But sometimes also price can continue to go up. So in this case, if you see a turtle sell signal here, but then price starts to stabilize, it starts to go trending moderately, not steep. So that's when we switch back to the normal turtle, the TAD. So we use back the turtle, atom, and the duck. Another example here, revenue. See, price starts to fall very sharply, and then we switch to fast turtle, and there's a buy signal here. Okay, coincidentally, it happened on the same day as the previous one. Both of these are technology stocks, by the way. So it happened on the 24th of March at 90 cents. So there's a sell signal there on the 10th of April at 1 ringgit and 8 cents. So with 10,000 ringgit, you'll make 2,000 ringgit or 20% in just 17 days. Now, here's a cool thing. When the KLCI was falling last year, for those who don't know what a KLCI is, it stands for Kuala Lumpur Composite Index. In simple terms, it is a basket of stocks, 30 stocks, that are used to form an index or benchmark to show how healthy our stock market is. So the index was showing this, a sharp fall. Okay, everyone was scared. But when it was falling sharply, we switched to the fast turtle. So it showed us a buy signal here on the 20th of March. And just one day before that, 19th of March, it was actually the market bottom. So that's how we caught the rally of the previous stocks, the technology stocks, and actually a lot of other technology stocks. Another cool part is sometime later in the same year, we caught the insane glove rally. Those who traded last year, then you will know what I'm talking about. Glove stocks were rallying like crazy. So how do we catch it? When we saw the KLCI, U-turning, we were monitoring for stocks that are potentially bullish. So that's when the TAD showed us TAD buy signal on the glove stocks. Okay. So TAD breakout in this case is Supermax on the 15th of April. So see how high the price rallied. More than 1,200%. Okay. So if you have 10,000 ringgit in this stock at that time, if you actually manage to sell here, you'll be making around 122,000 ringgit in just 3.8 months. But if you follow the rules, the TAD rules, the sell signal comes here. Okay, triggered on the 8th of September. So it's slightly lower, but then hey, it's still good money. 813% return in 4.9 months. Not just Supermax, we caught Top Glove, Harta, Kosan, and many other glove stocks, thanks to TAD. So the exit strategy, or to cut loss when we are wrong, there are a few. So there are 4 in this slide. So number 1 is very straightforward. Stop loss, or you cut your loss if, let's say you enter here at this level. If price goes down below your entry price by 3%, 5%, 6 or 10, you just get out. It's not so technical, but you can do this way if you want to. The second way, here, based on technical support. So if you know technical analysis, you know how to look for supports, you can use that. So your support can be here, right? It can be here, here, or here. So without indicators, it can be subjective. But if you have the turtle or TAD system, you can follow this, the red arrow. Very straightforward. You see red arrow, sell. For an example, you see this? Sell, stay out. and then you see price goes down and then sideways a bit, and then there's a turtle buy arrow here. Okay, if you enter here and you notice, okay, there's a turtle sell signal after that over here, stay out. So the fourth one, TAD sell signal. The rule is very simple. You need to have 3 red arrows. So this is turtle, atom, and duck. You see this? Sell, stay out, and then you'll be saved from this drop. So after knowing when to exit when you are wrong, you also have to know when to exit when you are right. In other words, when to take profit. There are many ways. One of the ways is to just take it based on percentage. So if you buy a stock at this price, and then you see your the stock rallies above your entry price by 3%, 7%, 8, 10, and so on, okay, you can take profit. It's not so technical or systematic, but it's not wrong to do this way. If you want something more systematic, use this Fibonacci projection. So those who have not traded before, if you try to use any charting platform, they should have this thing called Fibonacci projection. So this is a drawing tool that is used to show possible target prices, okay? Price targeting. When you use it, you will see many levels, okay, in ratios or percentage. To make it simple, just watch out for these 4 percentages. 62%, 100%, and so on. So how it works, how it looks like. If you want to measure your target, use Fibonacci and measure here from point A, okay, the pivot point A to pivot point B. And then you also need a pivot point C. So you actually need 3 points to draw Fibonacci projection. And to have those points, you actually need to see price, okay, going like that, zigzag. It has to go from a low to a high and then to a new low. Then only you can draw the Fibonacci projection. So point C is here. So again, point A is the first low, point B is the next high, point C is the next low after B. So when you draw it, automatically the software will show you a lot of horizontal lines. All right. So the ones you will focus on, as I mentioned, is 62%, 100%, and this too. So here's an example on Gadang. So if you enter based on TAD, 1, 2, 3. Okay, in this case, atom appeared first, turtle, then only duck. All right. So if you see this, based on TAD, you enter. And then after you see 1, 2, 3, okay, that kind of movement, zigzag, then you can draw Fibonacci projection. There'll be your point A, B, and C. So you see all the horizontal lines here, okay? They'll have their own colors. By default, maybe they will all have the same color. So you can actually change the lines. For me, in this case, I changed this. If you round it up, this is 62%, 100%, and 162%. So I just turned these 3 levels to red. So all the black lines, most of the time, I will ignore. So what's the value here? The first one here is 65 cents. And then here is 71.5 cents. And then here is 81.5 cents. Okay? So these are your possible target prices. You can take at this level, or this level. So if you enter based on BOB, buy on breakout here. So that means in terms of percentage, if you take profit here, you'll earn 14%, 25%, and 42%. So that means with 10,000 ringgit, you can make 1,400 ringgit, 2,500 ringgit and 4,200 ringgit. Okay, so there are 3 levels here. So which target price should you take? It is up to you, but personally for me, minimum at least 100%, because a lot of cases I see 100% is achieved a lot of times. All right, but in this case, Gadang, it hit all 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, except the last one. So another example. Okay, the same chart again. Gadang. If you learn how to BOD in our course, you will enter here at a price near a support. By percentage, you'll make this. In terms of ringgit, you'll make this. Okay, still good money. BOB, BOD, both works. Another example. This is a more recent example. Pharma. Based on TAD. Okay, there's a buy signal after you see all these green arrows. And then you can also see this 1, 2, and 3 zigzag. All right, it goes like that. So that's when you can draw the Fibonacci projection. So your price targets based on the ratios I told you is 4 ringgit 71 cents, 5 ringgit 20 cents, 6 ringgit, and 7 ringgit 29 cents. In this case, it almost hit. So if you BOB based on TAD, you'll enter here. And so in terms of percentage, your return will be, if it's here, 21%. Here's 34%, 55%. If it hits 7 ringgit and 29 cents, you'll get 88%. Now, for your information, when you trade for real, in reality, this can happen sometimes. So in a case where price almost hit your target or resistance, okay, then it pulls back down, you can actually just assume, okay, target achieved, so time to just get out. So with 10,000 ringgit, you can make 2,000 ringgit here, 3,000, 5,000, and 8,000. All right. So so far all good. So the content, the one I'm teaching is just up until here. So after this, we have trading ideas, okay, based on TAD, and it's also filtered and handpicked by us. So the first one we have here is CIMB. So CIMB triggered a TAD breakout here on the 28th of May. Okay, and in our view, based on technical analysis, it is forming a small rounding bottom here. It's also testing that resistance, okay, the ceiling. So based on yesterday's closing, I think it's still slightly below the resistance here. So in the near future, if it breaks out, we would consider it as a rounding bottom breakout. So if it does break out, here are the possible targets, the existing ones that we have. 4 ringgit 86 cents, 5 ringgit 14 cents, and 5 ringgit 40 cents. So currently the total support or TAD support is here at 4 ringgit and 17 cents. So that means in our view, if price closes below this level, it will turn bearish. I think there are some questions in the chat box. I'll look at it later after the PowerPoint. So the next one we have is GENM or Genting Malaysia. So in our view, it is forming a potential rounding bottom, you see? Like I mentioned earlier, it goes down, sideways, and then uptrending. And usually on the right-hand side is where it's bullish and possibly uptrending. So in this case, there was a TAD breakout on the 8th of June. But even before that, there was another technical buy signal Okay, the descending channel breakout. You see this rectangle? This is the ceiling, a sloping one, and then this is the floor. And then over here, it shows that price broke through the ceiling, showing momentum. Now, other technical reasons why we feel this is bullish is also because you see this is what we call a trend line. So this trend line, you just draw from here to here. If it breaks out above, it means there's a buy signal. But in this case, it is also a floor, the support. So price hit that level and then bounce up. But not just this trend line. We have another trend line from here. So this is also a floor, a support. So you have like a few other different support or floors showing similar level around here. So when that happens in technical analysis, this is what we call a coincide or confluence. That means there's a strong support. So based on these reasons, this is why we feel like Genting Malaysia is potentially bullish. And since it is forming a potential rounding bottom, there is a chance for it to go parabolic or at least uptrending. So if it does rally, the first target that we have here is 3 ringgit 18 cents. And the next is 3 ringgit 55 cents. If we're lucky, it can hit 3 ringgit 76 cents. And if we're even like luckier, if it breaks out, then we'll have a new target. But for now, we will just look at these two. Okay, all these are based on technicals. Now the third one here, okay, the first two are actually non-Sharia counters. So for the Muslim traders out there, if you want something Sharia compliant, the next one I have is Air Asia. So Air Asia triggered a TAD breakout on the 8th of June over here. So in this view, based on technicals, it is potentially, it is bullish, potentially uptrending. Based on other technical reasons, look at this. Highs and lows are getting higher. So here, the latest low is higher than the previous low. So there is a chance for the stock to actually exceed the old high. So for now, our target for this is 1 ringgit and 9 cents and 1 ringgit 27 cents. And in our view right now, the total support is here at 80 cents. That means if price closes below this level, it can turn bearish. Oh, I forgot to mention, for Genting Malaysia, total support is currently at 2 ringgit 66 cents. So if price closes below this level, it is potentially bearish. Okay, so the next part here, oh yes, we have this F1 total stock course, which is actually a 3-day course. So in this course, we'll teach you everything you need to know to just start trading on your own and make money. Okay, we'll teach you types of charts, how to read them, trends, support resistance, chart patterns, Japanese candlestick, TADs inside, and also money management. So all this are taught in this course. But the 4005 here also includes other things. The TAD system is included. Our Telegram support group also included. You'll also have our daily newsletter. So the daily newsletter is basically, in simple terms, a daily report written by us. You can read every morning before the market opens. And we also have stocks that are technically bullish based on TAD system and also hand-picked by us. And so the support and resistance for those stocks are also labeled inside. So with the newsletter, you can actually use it as additional technical information to make better trading decisions for your trading. Because in the market, there are over 1,000 stocks. So it's always good to have an extra eye to help you look for potential bullish stocks. All right. So the original price is 4,500 ringgit. But for those who are attending this talk, we have a special further 5% discount for you. So that'll be 4,275 ringgit. Okay, so to get this, you just have to call our customer support and give us your name, phone number, and email. And it's only available to the first 5 people only. All right. So the next course that we have here is those who are more serious. Is this the 3 months professional certificate in financial technical analysis course. So this is a 3 months course where we will teach you everything you need to know about technical analysis, candlesticks inside, chart patterns inside, moving averages, oscillators, Elliott wave, Fibonacci, and everything else. Okay, so this one comes with qualifications. Those who want a serious career in technical analysis, you want recognized qualifications, we can help you. So if you take our course, you'll get our PCFDA certificate in collaboration with Asia Metropolitan University. We will also prepare you for the prestigious STA UK exam. All right, the exam I mentioned just now earlier, which is like ACCA but for technical analysis, is internationally recognized. If you pass that, you can also get the CFTE, Certified Financial Technician Certificate from the USA. So if you're wondering, I'm actually a graduate of the PCFDA. You can see my face here. All right. So if you take this, whether it's a 3 days course or 3 months course, I'll see you there. So the customer support, the number you can contact is here. All right. So you can call Mary and Cherry, just ring them up, tell them you saw the talk from Kenanga. If you want to take the 3 days course with discount, give them your name, phone number, and email. Mention Kenanga Talk. All right.
Hey, Afnan, thank you so much. That
Yes.
was excellent. Yeah, before we get to the questions, I just want to wrap everything up.
Okay.
For you guys watching our webinar, you know that Kenanga does not endorse any of the trading systems that we're talking about today. It is Isabel's personal. And the thing is, you can learn all kinds of technical indicators in the market. You can learn Gann theory, you can learn Elliott wave, you can learn an assortment of advanced, you can do Wolf waves, you can do Heiken-Ashi, ROC, KRI, whatever you so want. But the thing that I wanted to introduce to you guys is that Afnan taught you the basic 3 things first, which is Japanese candlesticks, trends, and of course, just sticking to a trading plan and a trading rule. You notice that his trading rule is very clear. If it shows you TAD, enter, sell signal TAD, exit. That's a trading rule as well. That's a trading plan. But of course, you can always find out more. The background behind Richard Dennis's Turtle Traders, Bollinger Bands, everything, can do your own reading. But these systems, they just help you to give you some confidence boost. You know what I mean? Because even for the beginning, when I was trading, when I started at 21, I was a PDT trader for a different bank. That means I was a full-time trader. Even then, you still need a bit of a confidence boost if you're in the beginning. And then only after a while you evolve and you can spot these technical indicators and technical signals without even needing anything. But in the beginning, it always helps to have good guidance, not just running around Investopedia and learning for 3 years and not actually applying anything, right? So let's get to those questions, Afnan. Hong Chain 1 is asking, does TAD work during the sideways market now?
Does TAD works during the sideways market? Okay, if you're talking about the market in general, the whole market, yes, it works. It will filter out for you which stocks are bullish and uptrending, because in a sideways market, not all stocks are sideways. Very few are still bullish and uptrending. But if the stock itself is going sideways, yes, there tends to be whipsaws But that's the reality of trading. There is no holy grail in trading, no system that gives 100% accuracy. All right. But TAD, the likelihood of it succeeding is much higher.
Absolutely increases your probability of success. Not 100%, but maybe you're a 20% chance of success. Increases it to 60 to 70.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Another one is, if you know technical analysis, you can combine it with other factors like chart patterns and so on. Okay, combine it with TAD to give you more confidence and more accurate signal. For example, if you see a TAD breakout together with a symmetrical triangle breakout or maybe double bottom, it increases your chance of catching a bullish stock.
Totally agreed. Kim Hua Yap, does TAD have a screener to filter these stocks out?
Oh yeah, screener. I forgot to show that. Let me share screen one more time. So this screener is based on...
Agreed on his comment as well. Volume must be there as well. But yeah, go on with your screener, Afnan, sorry.
Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. So this is SI Station, you can see. So you go here, market screener, change it to Bursa, template, okay, F1 turtle buy, and then you press screen. So usually the results will appear in less than a minute, okay, like this. So what we do here is we like to sort them in terms of volume from the highest to the lowest. So we will only look at those that are above 6,000. The ones below, we leave them out. So we will just take a look at those stocks up here, all right? And then we analyze to see which ones are the best. Okay, so over back to you.
Mohammed Fazli Jamil asked, TAD works on which platform? SI Station, if I'm not mistaken, right?
SI Station, we also have TradingView. You have to contact our customer support for that. But there's no screener on that platform.
Understand. Mohammed Fazli Jamil, second question. How to set up the indicators?
Sorry, how to?
How to set up the indicators.
The indicators is actually invented by Mr. Fred, so you can only get it from us.
Hong Ching Wan asked, does it work for Serba?
For?
Serba Dynamic.
Oh, it's a Malaysian stock. Okay.
Yeah, it had a limit down
yes.
earlier this week, last week. Yeah.
Okay. Serba Dynamic, I haven't looked into that stock, but in technical analysis, if you learn it properly, then you will know that what kind of stocks we avoid are those that move very minimum. We call it illiquid stock. So if you see stocks like that with TAD or anything, you stay out. For Serba Dynamic, if you don't mind, let me take a look at it.
Yeah, because in my memory, I know Serba Dynamic has been trading around 160 to 164 for the past few months. There was only one rally where it went up to 185. But if you look at something very basic like moving averages, it will already show that Serba Dynamic has cut down the 20-day and 50-day moving average around 18th March, if I'm not mistaken. So when it actually does cut down, that's already a downtrend, also known as a technical sell, isn't it?
Yes, correct. So, okay, is it right if I share my screen again?
Yeah, please do.
All right. Sharing.
Let's see whether my memory does serve me right or not.
Okay, do you see share investor station here? So, all right. Serba Dynamic, based on TAD, okay, there's already a sell signal here. Okay, you see here? Turtle, okay, dark atom is here. So that means there's a TAD sell around here. It's right before the drop. Now here's the cool thing. TAD actually managed to help traders to avoid all this huge gap down, downtrend right before it happens. For example, Serba Dynamic. So the sell signal was triggered around here. If you follow it, you stay out. So you don't care what happens after that, okay? If there's no buy signal, you just stay out. So in this case, this happens, then if you see this and you already gotten out of it, you'll feel very relieved. Thanks to TAD.
Yeah. And you can see the difference between looking at a system and looking at and learning technicals on your own. For example, if you actually knew the technicals and you had a sell signal for when the price cuts the moving average, that's 18th. But for TAD, to give you confirmation, that's 23rd or 22nd. Few days delayed, but still excellent cut loss already if you follow your trading rule. So you can see there's a lot of different ways you can use technicals, follow a system, follow your own technicals, but all of them have a bit of difference here and there, but all of them really do contribute a lot to a target price and stop loss. Ruziman Guspini says, what time frame for fast buy?
What time frame for fast buy? If you mean the fast turtle, it's all daily chart.
All right. Puyi, is it possible for both buy and sell signal to appear on the same day?
No, it's because there can only be one type of arrow on that day, whether it's green or red, if that's what she means.
All right. So is it possible, my own question, isn't it possible in the morning, following a Japanese candlesticks, for it to just shoot up in the morning, hit a turtle resistance, and then suddenly ferocious selling in the afternoon sell, and then suddenly turtle sell signal?
Oh, I see now. Okay. So in that case, yes, it can happen, but that would be when the market's really, really bad, right?
Yeah. And also, I understand that these turtle systems, they need confirmation. So you're supposed to look at them only end of day, and therefore it's 1 day delayed once you get your confirmation,
yes.
right?
Yes. So all this, the strategies, everything, will actually teach you more detail in the course. So TAD is based on the closing, so you only enter after the market close. If you want to enter based on the intraday breakout, you can, but you have to take the risk also. So in our course, we'll explain to you the advantages and disadvantage, so you get to pick which ones you like, whether you like to enter after it close or during its intraday breakout. It's up to you.
Thank you. LJ Chin, following that, asks, can we use TAD for intraday trading or day trading?
Okay, TAD, it can be used, but it's not really a straightforward method. So before you even get to day trading, you have to be very firm with your technical analysis understanding. You first have to master the daily chart, okay? And then after that, for day trading, you have to mix it up with intraday chart, like 5 minutes or 15 minutes.
I guess that also answers Tek Tan's question, does your system work for 5-day charts? I have a few that they want to actually analyze the stocks, but let's get through the technical questions first.
Okay.
This answers Dominic's question also. Can the system be used for intraday trading? Mohammed Amiruddin Ahmad says, what makes you say it's a buy or sell signal? What's the science behind your buy or sell signals?
Okay, if that person means how the arrows are generated is, for the atom and duck, yeah, you have to attend the course, but the turtle, you can just go read it online. So the original turtle is the Downtrend channel. So the rule is, if price closes above the highest high of the last 20 days, there's a buy signal. And if price closes below the lowest low of the last 20 days, then there's a sell signal. This is the original Downtrend channel.
Any trend lines that we need to cut loss? Akmal Abu.
Any trend lines? Okay, if you know technical analysis, then yes, you can mix it with TAD. And actually, TAD, if you want the optimum results, you have to mix it up with technical analysis, chart pattern, trend lines, Japanese candlestick, and everything. Only then it will be more efficient. It's just that those who they're not so advanced in technical analysis, maybe just the basic. So if they want to just follow TAD, then they can. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I would think so. And also, there's always more advanced things you can go into. For example, Japanese candlesticks, there's 1 day, 2 day, 3 day patterns. Yeah. So you need to actually, some candlesticks are only valid if they have a 1 day, for example, the doji. And you have to have that in confluence, that means together with Fibonacci retracement or an EMA. So it's more valid. A lot of traders, I realize, they just look at a Japanese candlestick and it's in the middle of the chart floating between, and they say, oh, this is bullish engulfing, but it isn't. It's just, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
A lot of intraday questions, but I think he already answered that just now. Suresh Kumar, TAD system, is it solely for Bursa Malaysia, and is it only for swing trading?
Okay, TAD system is actually for buy and hold. Okay, but sometimes if price rallies aggressively, it can turn to swing trading. You take profit early because it hits your profit fast. Okay, so usually it's for buy and hold. Sometimes it can also be used for swing trading. Depends on how to use. Like intraday, if you know advanced technical analysis, you know how to mix it up with intraday charts, then yes, it can be day trading as well. And just now you mentioned if it works for other market, is it?
Yes, beyond Bursa Malaysia.
Yes,
Hong
it
Kong,
works.
America, China.
Yes, it works well, quite well for US market, because
As
you know
long as
US
they have the
market.
price feeds, right, from SI
Yes.
Station.
Yes, if there's candlestick, there's charts, then you can apply TAD.
MK Lee, any screener to select KLCI? I think he answered that question just now. Yes, there is a screener. Tik
Yes.
Tan, does TAD work for syndicated penny shares manipulation?
Okay, TAD can give a hint where there's potentially bullish movement or bearish movement. So this is where your technical analysis knowledge comes in. You have to know when the stock is illiquid or syndicated. For example, data PRP, how you call it, data prep. So that stock, it was around a few cents, I think 40 cents, until some time ago it rallied up to a few 100%, if I'm not mistaken, to around 4 ringgit, just from a few cents. So TAD caught a buy signal when it was very cheap, and then when it rallied, we noticed that volume was dropping while price was rising. So when we see that, even if there's no TAD sell signal, we are cautious. Maybe we take our profit early or just stand by to get out. So in a way, yes, it does work, but you also need technical analysis knowledge.
Ahmad Azuri, Ahmad Bayri asks, does this TAD take into consideration a stock's fundamentals, or does it totally ignore them and focuses on chart only?
Okay, TAD is solely based on technical analysis. We're not looking at any fundamentals. But if you're a fundamentalist, you want to mix technical analysis for timing of entry and a fundamental to see what stocks to look for to buy, then you can. You have bonus a TA analysis and fundamental.
Can you use fast turtle for intraday trading, Mr. Lai?
Can you use
fast turtle for intraday trading?
Intraday trading. Okay. Yes, you can actually. And if you take our course, if you learn from us, we have our SOP on how to do intraday trading. Again, you have to mix it up with daily chart, then only the intraday chart. You have to mix with TAD or turtle, and then also with fast turtle, with Fibonacci, and many other things in technical analysis. So that's why before anything, you have to master the daily chart first.
I think that answers Akmal Abu's question. FIFO or BTST stocks can TAD detect? Can TAD detect first in, first out, or buy today, sell today, tomorrow stocks?
TAD.
Because I know some systems that I've experienced, they can see whether it shows that a lot of people are having high turnover and very intraday or short-term turnover.
Okay. Yes, TAD, fast turtle, both of them can. But then again, to get the best result, you need to have technical analysis knowledge to filter out and pick the best stocks.
Samson Lee asked the same idea as well. Can you share the general idea of how TAD is formulated? It's a bit of a repeat question, but Afnan, if you'd like to answer that.
How it is formulated. For the atom and duck, you have to take our course. But then turtle, you can just It's available on the internet. You can just read it there.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can Google it, guys. You
Yes.
can
Even
Google it.
MACD moving average, you can read it.
Yeah, you can just Google it. Um, the rest of the questions, they're mainly for the course. I think just now we shared the numbers. I can repeat them again later in the chat. Just so you know, I clearly do not benefit. I have no introductory fee or whatever for the courses, but it's just, helping you guys along. Take Tan, do you agree the market maker will make the chart pattern for us to see?
Market maker, yes.
He means
But
in retail terms, the sharks, etc.
sharks, yeah. Okay, Jerome's. Okay, yes. Sometimes, not all the time, and not for all stocks. So, so yes, you have to be careful with this. If they push a stock price up, if you want to ride with them, you can, but be careful when they push it down. Again, to know all this, you need to learn technical analysis.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is just to make it easier for you guys. All right, so let's go to the stocks and just maybe choose 3 of them, so we can have a look and see and analyze how accurate your system is, Afnan.
Right. But it has to be, not an illiquid stock, please. Not a penny stock,
Okay,
if possible.
the challenge. All right, I'll choose the blue chip. The large trading ones. So let's have a look at Serba Dynamic.
Serba Dynamic. Okay. So Serba Dynamic. Let's see. So over here, when you see price starts to go sideways, okay, you stay out. There's a breakout here, but not a firm candle, so we would stay out. And if we know that the volume is the volume dry, okay, there's some volume. But if we see, we look at the past, we see how sideways it is. So we can expect some whipsaws to happen. So if it's like that, we can, ignore the buy signal here. So if you still enter, let's say here, you would get out here. It's almost, okay, you just cut loss a bit or break even. Okay, over here, there are buy signals again. Although there are buy signals in this Serba Dynamic, if you follow our newsletter, we did not pick Serba Dynamic for, based on technicals. There are ways to actually filter out the stocks, which ones are good, which ones are bad, even, with TAD. But based on TADs, okay, so based on TAD itself, okay, the last signal was a sell signal around here, triggered by the atom, the last one, before price fell. All right. So other stock.
CH Ang asked, can you please use the fast turtle to look at Serba?
Fast turtle to look at Serba.
Yeah, and Muhammad Ikwan Ibrahim also asked, maybe Serba can be a buy on technical rebound. As far as I know, it's okay. I'll let you answer CH Ang first.
Okay, as far as I know, yes. When it's falling sharply like this, okay, you switch to fast turtle. So based on technical analysis rule, based on fast turtle, if there's a buy arrow, you can buy and sell slightly higher for a quick profit. But if you want to take into account also, because I don't know I'm not a fundamentalist guy, but I know that something happened with Serba Dynamic, something about them manipulating their financial statements or something, is it?
That's right.
Yeah, so if I know that,
unconfirmed, of course.
Yeah, so even if there's fast turtle, I would rather just let this opportunity slide, look for other stocks. In trading, it's not just that you have to know analysis, you also have to know trading decisions. It's okay to let go of a few opportunities because you are not sure of it or because it looks bad, Just pick the best ones.
With 1,000 over stocks on the market, there are many options. Other options. Mohammad Fazli Jamil asks, how is the KLCI for the next week based on the TAD system?
KLCI, let's see. Okay, this is based on my latest drawing. Okay, we'll just focus on this part right here. So we can see that it is still flat. So yes, recently market has been quiet, it's flat. No sector is in play. Even if there are uptrending stocks, they're not like the whole sector. It's just individual stocks. So right now we are still in view that market is neutral and sideways. Still, to make money, you have to filter out and pick uptrending stocks. And just to share something with you, KLCI is only, it's made up of only 30 stocks, the blue chips. So we are actually trading a lot on the mid and small cap index. So sometimes we don't look at the KLCI, we look at the mid and small cap index over here. Okay, let's see. So based on the mid and small cap index, all right, it's also flat, just like the KLCI, but I would say it's doing better for a few reasons. It's back above a gap resistance here. Previously, it had a gap down here, but then it filled the gap again. All right, and then it's quiet. It formed a W bottom here, and the formation of this W bottom is still intact, still valid. Now, what I like to see here is, other than the T80 breakout, if it can fill this down gap, the red rectangle here, then it will be a more bullish sign. Then we can see stocks start to go up again.
Thank you. Let's have a look at D next.
D next.
For Yuk Long.
I think D next first because I remember that we featured this in our newsletter. So D next is technically bullish based on TAD. So remember I said TAD, you can combine it with chart pattern and other things to add more confirmation. So in this case, D next had a TAD breakout together with a down channel breakout on the 27th of May. And also the volume was high. So it's like you have, extra confirmation. So this is a strong one. Of course, it didn't rally immediately in a soft market like this. It went down a bit, then flat. Only recently it went up. All right, and based on yesterday, price gap up. It opened here. Okay, but then it closed lower. But still, there is no sell signal based on TAD. And in fact, it already hit our first target. Okay, so technically speaking, DNX in our view is still bullish as long as TAD buy signal is still intact. And for your information, before this rally, there was a buy signal based on TAD over here on the 21st of January, is it? Yes, 21st. So from here to up here, it rallied by around 300%. Okay, any other stocks?
I'm just going to choose one more. And I think, right. Afnan, we do have to invite you back for another session. I'm getting some really great questions, which I would like to go through. Anyway, last two questions. Vijay Nachamia, what's your view on banking stocks? Any stock picks to recommend? The reason I chose this question is because you can actually, Afnan can show you maybe, is there a way to filter by sector and choose the leader of the market?
All right. For finance stocks, one way is you can look at the index first. All right. So this is the index. Let me see if I have a drawing for this. Old ones. Okay. So for the index, I can see it's also flat like the KLCI. All right. Potentially breaking out of a triangle. It also has a TAD bullish signal actually. So I would say it's sideways, still sideways, but with bullish bias. Now, there are not many banking stocks in Malaysia. I think you can count them with your fingers. So if it's like that, you can just look at the stocks one by one, see if they have any similar movement. And I've been monitoring this. So if I want to summarize it for you, the banking stocks, in our view, they are sideways also, but with bullish bias. And if I'm not mistaken, the best one right now is CIMB. All right. Not only CIMB has a TAD bullish signal, but recently it broke out of this triangle. It's forming a potential rounding bottom. Another banking stock with TAD breakout, I think it's Hong Leong, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Hong Leong has it too, but still overall sideways. So I would say sideways with bullish bias. And then another one, Public Bank. Oh, Public Bank, when you see this kind of movement, very minimal, you can just expect that there will be whipsaws, all right? So yes, I think we didn't feature this in our newsletter. Let me see. Oh, we have, okay, but it's still flat. I would say flat with bullish bias also. So yes, in summary, finance stocks, banking stocks, they are quite neutral, but slowly with bullish bias. All right. Anything else?
All right. I wish I could go into SCB and Kai Power, but we do have to wrap up. And GCB, maybe Afnan, you can send us the charts later on, and rubber stocks as well for Yuan Fong. Just an Iris for Stephen Lai and Jackie Taste Tech Berhad. Might not be able to finish all in time. Hopefully you can give us an analysis and we'll post it on our Telegram channel.
Okay.
Just Stephen Lai, can TAD be used for futures market, FKLI, FCPO?
Yes, it can be used also for futures, commodities.
Great. Now we have to move on to our giveaway section. We've already run over time slightly for our 10:30 finish for Afnan, but we do want to give away these 50 ringgit Starbucks cards, right, Afnan?
Yes, correct.
All right. So, and also, what else do they get if they win these next 5 questions? I believe you're contributing from your side as well.
Oh yes, if for those who answer the questions correctly, you get a copy of the chart pattern analysis book. We'll send it over to you.
Awesome. First question. The one who gets it accurately will win it, and I'll announce the winner. And the winner has to send us their name, mobile number, and address. What does TAD stand for? First question. What does TAD acronym stand for?
Where can I see the answers? Is it in the control panel?
Yeah, chat box.
Okay.
And the winner goes to Yuk Long Liu, TAD System, Turtle, Atom, and Duck. Second question. Who founded TAD System? Who is the founder of the TAD System? And the winner is Raymond Yun. The answer is Fred Tam. Question 3. What are the 3 directions of trend? What are the 3 directions of trend? 3 kinds of trends in the market. And the winner is Ben Tew. Up, down, and sideways. Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, and sideways. What does BOB stand for? Question 4. What does BOB stand for? And the winner is Samson Lee. Buy on Breakout. BOD for donkey, maybe my pronunciation, BOB is buy on Breakout. BOD is buy on dip.
Yes.
And finally, just an easy question for you guys. What are the names of the 2 customer support staff for TAD Systems? They're very friendly. They're very nice. Don't scold them too
Yes.
much.
And how you met them also? You were a PCFTA student also, right?
Yeah, that's right. I did study
When you were 16. So that means,
enduringly.
when was it?
A few years ago.
Few years ago.
Handful of years ago.
So you took the PCFTA 3 months course way earlier, before me. See, and look at where you are now.
I used to be an addict for courses, but I do believe you need to attend and also apply.
I see.
I'm having a bit of trouble scrolling, guys. What's the answer?
Mary Cherry.
Yes. Hin Choi Ho, 5th winner. Hello to Mary and Cherry. All right, and that wraps it up for Afnan's section. After this, we're going to cover warrants for a bit. And that's it. Thank you so much, Afnan. Do send us those charts that people wanted. Iris, Tech Berhad, SCIB, and K Power as well. And everybody, say a big thank you to Afnan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Isabel, for having me today.
Absolutely. I think we must have another session, maybe in about a month or so from now. If you like Afnan, please tell him thank you in the chats. We really appreciate your time on this Saturday morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Excellent. So now let's move on to the next section of our course, of our little session today for the next few minutes. We've got a few things about warrants I want to cover. And as you heard from Afnan earlier, once you choose an uptrending stock, you need to choose the warrants that correspond with it. And of course, I know a lot of you are beginners. So if you're a beginner in the chat to warrants, not just stocks, but for warrants, please press B if you're a beginner, I if you're intermediate, and A if you're advanced. If you're very beginner, please press B, 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 B. If you're very advanced, please press A, 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 A. Just so I have an idea of who's in our chat today. Most welcome, Bartholomew. I hope he will answer your question as well. B's. All right, a lot of B's. So we're not going to go into too much. Oh, B, 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 B. A few A's, JIT. All right. Understood, guys. Understood. So now we're going to cover this bit of the live matrix. All of these videos that we cover, they're all on our YouTube at Kenanga channel. Just search for Kenanga channel and you'll be able to see we did a beginner video that's 1 hour, and all our advanced videos joined together is 1 hour as well. So that's 2 hours of your time, and you get to learn a whole bunch about warrants and watch them to your heart's content. All right, so live matrix. What does the limiter mean? Why is the live matrix different? Can a warrant's price be 0? Can a warrant limit up twice in a day? The thing is, before we even get to warrants, you need to ask yourself, hey, Mary Bautista, you need to ask yourself, why should I even bother with warrants, right? Afnan says TAD system can get me 18% return over 3 months. Why do people actually bother learning about structured warrants? It's so complicated. It's so tricky. Why? We'll answer that in a moment. But before we get to that, let me just give you a big bird's eye view from 20 million miles above Earth to show you where this fits into the big picture. So this is just my opinion. Of course, Isabel's opinion. Up to you whether you want to listen to or not. But you need to question everything. Like I always say in my courses, question your lecturers, question me, question your insurance agents, question your fund managers, question how they make money, question their intent, question everything. Don't trust anybody, not even me. Big picture. First thing you need to do is picture this in your head. You have all your inputs that you actually have, the courses that you attend, the books. For example, you could have learned about stochastic MACD, turtles, atoms, ducks, or you can learn from Charles Dow, Robert Rea, John McGee, Martin Pring, Kirkpatrick. All these books I've already read. So what do you do with the knowledge from these books and the events that you go to and the CNBC, Bloomberg News apps and the BFM app? Very good. That I have to recommend. CNBC, CGT, and Bloomberg, they have push notifications so you can see the overnight markets. And of course, the research reports you read and the real gurus, which is to me people like Charles Dow, Robert Rea, John McGee, not just people who are unlicensed telling you things or not even attached to a proper company. Of course, gurus in inverted commas, all of this input, what for? Why attending this webinar, right? You need to have your checklist of things, which is all the technical analysis, introduction to TA, Dow theory, chart pattern analysis. You need to learn these things: major reversal, major continuation patterns, triangles, 3 gaps, and 3 types of market orders. For example, gaps, there's a common breakaway and exhaustion gap. You need to know the difference. It is not just people say gap, gap up, gap up, gap up. What does it mean? Is it a common breakaway or exhaustion gap? There are these technical terms because it goes from common gap to breakaway gap to exhaustion, and then there'll be a reversal. So there are different kinds of gaps. Moving averages, oscillators, RSM, MACD, Japanese candlesticks, Elliott waves, and Fibonacci. So you have this checklist in your head. So whenever you go through these events, courses, books, you go through that. Then you add that with a scanner system for beginners. I find it very useful to actually give you some confidence. There are many scanner systems available. The one that we covered today was TAD trading system, the SI station over here. They use the SI station platform. There's also Grand Pine, AlgoBox. We had Alfred Chen speak for us last 2019, but it's in Mandarin. You can see that on our YouTube channel as well, the founder of Grand Pine. Art trading system, which we had last 2 weeks. The video is up on our YouTube. And our trading system is based off ChartNexus. So these trading platforms are, you buy a subscription if you so want to, but of course you can always look at the charts on your brokerage platform. If you're using RHB, Maybank, CIMB, Kananga, Rakuten, Malacca Securities, Philip, whatever you're using, there's always a button where you can press and look at the technical charts. But these may not have the full time frame sometimes, but you can pull it back all the way to say 1992, and some of them may not have technical indicators for you. Of course, there's FearVest, Trading BSA. I would love to invite them on our session as well and give you a free session. After that, you must have the output, which is the main purpose of this. The inputs over here, you must filter away the noise using these 2 things. And then output, which is the entry price, stop loss price, take profit price. And the best way to maximize it is by considering a structured warrants. Ta-da! Using the MESTI strategy. Step number 5, you have your mistakes and your risks and you ask questions. Then you find a solution. And then you just go into output, warrant, mistakes, and you just rinse and repeat and go through that cycle. And that's all it is. But why again, Isabel? Am I bothering to find the target price, the stop loss, the entry price? What is the big benefit for me? Well, these are some beginner concepts that I find useful, but the one I want to highlight today is this one over here. For a beginner, I love the idea of understanding different concepts and putting them to use, because I've had traders, for example, Wheel of Life concept. I've had a trader who spoke to me before, making a lot of money in the market, but because he didn't really balance out his romance and family life, he ended up getting a divorce. Because even though he was making a lot of money trading, he did not have a nice balance between work and leisure. So you kind of need to keep everything in a nice balanced circle. A lot of these concepts you can read yourself. Ikigai concept, dollar cost averaging, Wheel of Life, Cash Flow Quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki, 6 Jars Money Management System by T. Harv Eker, Cone of Learning, etc. But the main reason I want to share with you this bit for a beginner is why bother learning about trading and why bother learning about structured warrants. So if you're actually putting 1,000 ringgit every single month for 12 years, that means 1 year, that is 12,000 ringgit, correct? 12 times 12, 144. That means over 12 years, you will be getting 144 ringgit in 12 years. Not even adjusted for inflation. If you do put it in, say, an FD, that gives you 3.8%. If you ask me now, they're about 1 to 2%. You get a bit more. Now, if you take it out and you put it onto a market-related product, 8% average per annum, fine. Some people get 20%, all good. 237 after 12 years. But say every single year you're compounding, that means you compound it one time. In the chats after this at 11 a.m., girls, please remind me, 11 a.m., send over a compound interest calculator to the chat after my 50 ringgit giveaway. Remind me. I'll also put it on our Telegram. You'll actually see this kind of returns if you put it into a high risk unit trust, 15%, 376. But if you compound it 30% every year, you'll be making $1 million in 12 years. Sounds easy, because people are saying you can make 30% from the market, but when it comes to structured warrants, let me show you the returns that traders have made. So over the past year, I actually asked traders to send over a screenshot of the performance using structured warrants. And of course, you've got people that made over here 8%, 12, 9, 22, 6, 41. Okay, not really enough to get me out of bed in the morning. 100 and what does it say over there? 13%. But of course, there's another class of traders where you actually do a bit more, where you actually follow your technical analysis rules. So I would say if a beginner, you'd be over here. If you're intermediate advanced, you'll be making these kind of returns. We've got 156%, 58, 61, 46%, 661%, 136%, 8,000%. For example, you heard Afnan earlier, he mentioned that rubber glove rally last year, 1,000%. If people invested in structured warrants, which they did, it was 8,000%. On Supermax C78, our exceptional warrants last year. Penta CL, even a tech warrant, 837%. Frontcan CR 66%. Frontcan again 41%. Kosan 54%, and Comfort CB, another rubber glove stock, and VS. So it's not just a single stock that people made money in, not just rubber glove and you missed it last year and you completely give up on life. There are many other stocks that come into play, but what you need to remember is that there is sector rotation in play. So for a beginner, sector rotation means that not every single sector will be hot or happening or exciting in a particular month. You kind of need to jump from sector to sector. People have made money in rubber gloves last year, for example, over here. Then they move on to small caps, tech stocks. They already made the money, they take profit, they migrate, right? You already made your money, you take profit, you migrate to the next one. Then you move on to construction. Last year, this was 2020. January was tech and their related warrants. February was recovery and their warrants. April was a bit of rubber gloves and the warrants and green tech, which I love. I was going to give you a case study, but in the interest of time, we'll skip past these. We have a video that I did that is coming up shortly on a bunch of case studies we did. Now, the difference between somebody like me and the general public is that I would actually analyze the charts myself. And I have my own trading rules. But for a beginner, which many of you are, it's always easier to have a bit of moral support, a bit of confidence boost. But the main idea for even an advanced trader is that you kind of have your own trading rules. For example, for a stock like GENM, I would have a trading rule over here, Fibonacci buy and sell. For price crisis, moving average 200 days, target price. So I have a buy signal and a sell signal, and I create my own based on my own understanding. The main thing I wanted to show you for this particular chart was that as simple, it doesn't have to be uptrending all the time. So when it comes to warrants, even if you buy here at a Fibo retracement and you sell over here not even at a high, based on your own trading rules, if you bought the stock, it is 13%. But if you bought the warrant, it is 20%. Stock. And the next time it happens again, you bought over here, you sold over here, you have made 8%. Sorry, that was over here. Even something small like this, it doesn't have to require a long-term rally. Even that can give you 22% if you're considering the warrants and not just the stock. But the thing is, how do you actually choose the right warrants? We're going to get to that as well. So I've covered this a few times, but for the sake of beginners, I'll do a quick one. For the warrants that you actually trade on the markets, we're talking about structured warrants. So these require you to actually use the MESTI strategy, which has a video on YouTube about, and the last defense strategy using the live matrix tool. Both of these are available on nagawarrants.com. Now, the main thing that this live matrix teaches you is that, number one, the traffic lights. If there is a green traffic light, then it's the only stock you can enter. Avoid if it's red, avoid if it's orange. So that means for this stock, which has a red traffic light, you avoid straight away for the structured warrants. And the second thing is that it shows you that pink are for puts. Now, put warrants behave in the opposite way compared to call warrants. A call warrant, when underlying goes up, the call warrant goes up exponentially as well. When the stock goes down, this call warrant goes down as well. But for puts, it's different. It allows you to balance your portfolio in the form of a hedge. So the stock comes down. For example, if you had a SERBA put warrant, a SERBA stock comes down, the put warrants will actually go upwards. And many of these put warrants are now available on the market, not just FBM KLCI index puts. So you got Supermax HC, that's a put warrant. That means it works in the opposite direction. So if you're trying to capitalize on the same uptrend trajectory, you want to avoid the put warrants, obviously. So the main idea for this part is that if you have a structured warrant that you actually entered, you've got 13 cents over here. Let's say you foresee that my EG is going to go to 2 ringgit and 2 cents. This is your TP. If you actually consider using the underlying, you'd be making 6%. But if you calculate using the warrants, it'd be 23%. How do I get that? 15.5 minus 13 divided by 13. That's how you calculate your ROI, if you don't want to use the same kind of trajectory that Afnan used just now. So let's get to the Q&As, and then let's get it started straight away, because I want to teach you a bit more after this. So first question for the 50 ringgit Starbucks giveaway card. How many ticks is Mr. DIYC1? Mr. DIYC1, who has the answer for this one? It looks like, yes, the answer goes to Kenyatta, 2 ticks sensitivity. Nice. Question 2. Why does SP Satia's C32 ticks change from 6 to 2? I actually answered this question in my webinar last week. I just want to drill it in so you guys remember. Why does it go from 6 ticks to 2 ticks? Why? Shirley Hun, correct, and Alvin Hong also correct. Actually, you know what? Give both of them. Shirley Hun and Alvin Hong, just because Alvin Hong was nice enough to write the whole answer for us. Looks like Alvin Hong actually had my slides from last week, maybe. Right, so fast. Copy and paste, huh? Good for you. All right, so the next part, we can answer the 3 questions after this. Is low inventory increased offer price? What happens when the low inventory issuer, for example, other issuers as well, they announce this, they say, what happens when there's a low inventory? Does that mean the issuer will split the spread? If this, am I mirrored on this computer? Am I left? Oh, that's very confusing for me. Okay, so let's say this is my left hand. This is my right hand, okay, guys. Left is bid, right is ask.
You'll see it straight.
You'll see it straight.
So you use your normal.
I use my normal. Okay, bid and ask. So usually the warrant's bid is tight. Yes? If it's 10 cents on the bid, that means it's 10.5 on the ask. But when a warrant issuer runs out of inventory, they will maintain the left hand. They will maintain the bid price at 10 cents, but increase the ask to 15 cents, for example. So that's what happens to MFCB over here. Here's the underlying bid, underlying ask, warrant bid, warrant ask, and it was 10 cents, and it's supposed to be tight 1.5 cents. Oh, sorry, this is 1 cent, 1.5 cents. And then the issuer didn't want to sell anymore. Low inventory, underlying's volatile, poor liquidity, whatever it was. So it went from 1, and the issuer increased the offer size to 4.5. That means the matrix turned red. That means you should avoid entering, but if you're still in it, you can still sell it back to the issuer at 1 cent fair price. Now, let's say a lot of people exited in the CB, so the issuer has the inventory back. You sold back to the issuer. The issuer can tighten the price again to 1, 1.5. That's the first concept today. The second concept I want to cover for beginners, maybe more intermediate, before I get to my next Q&A question, is why does the live matrix look different from the market? Sometimes, if MFCB on the live matrix, it is 4.5. So you'd think on the market it looks like this. 687 on the bid, 688. Sorry, I took a bit of a late screenshot. This is this price. Still 4.5. However, the warrant, it should be looking like this, right? Bid price 1, and the offer is 4.5 cents. However, sometimes when you look at the market and you don't actually participate in it, and you look at it and you're wondering, how come it shows me 2 cents, 2.5, when the matrix is showing this price? It is because you have other people queuing in between you. These are retailers. So that means there are other people, not the issuer. The issuer is this. This is I for Isabel. I for issuer, okay? And these are other individuals, and they're trying to queue your price. So yes, I shared this before, but let's bring it to what happened over the past week. So the question is, can a warrant's price become totally zero? You know what happens if a warrant goes up all the way from, say, 199 to 2 ringgit? It goes higher. You know, why do people always talk about best case scenario? Let's talk about the worst case scenario. What happens when can a warrant's price become totally zero? This is a question for the next Starbucks card. Answer in the chat. Yes or no? Can a warrant's price become totally zero? And the winner goes to Hong Cheng 1. Yes, absolutely. And the live matrix shows you this. A very deep out of the money warrant can be zero, and I use Serba as an example. And the tricky part is Serba, we're going to cover that today. How come a warrant's price is zero, but still it can have prices? This is really cool. So Serba, what happened was easy. This is a trading view chart. Gapped up, if you ask me, I saw a sell signal over here. Because price cuts below the 20-day moving average, some very basic technical analysis for you guys. 20-day moving average, cut low. When price cuts above 50 and 20-day, enter. So this is clearly an exit signal for a very basic technical analysis. What happened to the warrant? Serba Dynamic, it was very deep out of money. That means Serba Dynamic warrant followed the underlying downwards, right? From here, 160, 162, 164 before it gapped down to here, 75 cents, all the way to 60.5 when I took the screenshot. So 60.5 cents. Let's say the warrant has fallen so out of the money, so deep out of the money that it is 0 cents on the bid and 2 cents on the ask. But Isabel, Serba C20, when I took a look at the market, it was still trading at 1.5 cents. How is this possible? Anybody want to try? So when Serba C20 actually went down so much, the concept that I shared earlier, you had retailers queuing to buy over here. They were queuing to buy at 0.5 cent, 0.05. Poor color choice of pen as well. They were queuing to buy at 0.005, 0.010, 0.015, and the issuer was only selling it at 0.020. Following the matrix, correct? So that means you have other people queuing there in between the price. So if you actually were supposed to sell it to 0, there were other people willing to buy it from you, buy it from you at 1.5 cents. So they were queuing there. So the last transacted price was 1.5 cents. Isabel, correct, Freeman Chang, it doesn't expire yet, but that's not really the answer. Nick Yu, Wong Ka-ching got it right, queued by retailers. So the next question for advanced traders is, because I'm assuming you're all advanced now, is why do people do that? Why would somebody, if I know that Serba Dynamics C20, if you actually messaged me, I would have sent to you the price chart for Serba C20. And people ask, what price will it be? What price will Serba increase to? For the live matrix to be showing 0.005 on the bid. And the price was actually 114, 115. So why do these people try to buy it at 0.5 cents and 1 cent if they know Serba has to go up 50, 60 cents in a short amount of time to beat the time value decay, to beat the theta? It is because they know that some people will actually not look at the live matrix. Some people who are not, I won't say noob, okay, but some people who are very, 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 very beginner, they don't actually know that the live matrix exists. They don't know that nagawarrants.com exists. They will actually queue, Nick, you correct. Why? But it's not really the how. So if you actually do get it at 0.5 cent, but you know the issuer will only buy it back from you at 0.5 cent when it's 114, their idea is that if they layer the market, layer at 0.5 cent, layer at 1 cent, layer at 1.5 cent, and it could be a few people, it doesn't have to be a lot, they will know that somebody who wants to get out desperately will sell it to them at 1.5. So if they picked it up at 0.5 cent, they will be able to exit at 1.5. Problem is, once they exit at 1.5, you are stuck with that 1.5, and you won't be able to get out until it goes maybe to 160. Because when Serba is 114, then the warrant is only 0.5 cent. I hope that makes sense. If you understand this concept, press OK. If I've totally confused you, press KO. But this explains why some warrants, even though they're out of the money and they're 0, you can see prices change and people are queuing when they know that it won't be able to reach that price using the live matrix. Next question, question 4. Okay, Chiam Heng Long, Bartholomew Vun, appreciate it. Question 4, will it be delisted or be still active when a warrant becomes 0? So this is a follow-up question to question 3. Will a warrant's price be totally 0? Or when it's totally 0, will it be delisted or will it stay active? What happens? Wong Ka-ching, they think Bursa is casino, player, and banker. That's right. You either want to be a gambler in the market or you want to be an actual trader. So the answer is Wong Ka-ching, still active. Tan Huyen Hong, KO, Jess Law, KO, Pearly, Williams, KO, Robert Kui, KO. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll cover this again if people really KO a lot, okay? But that's more of an advanced concept because I like to look at what happens on the market now, not just cover the same things I've covered in all my videos. Question 5 for the 50 ringgit Starbucks card. Can a warrant limit up twice in a day? Now, this happened recently for MMC Corp. The warrants actually showed a different price. The underlying did a different price. The answer is McWin Chi. Yes. Yes, warrants can limit up twice in a day. What, Isabel? Underlying can only limit up once, but tell me a warrant can limit up twice. This is this is market manipulation, purely correct. A lot of people are saying yes. Oh my gosh. Alvin Hong asks, how do I win the book also? Maybe for the next session that we have, go and buy some of the books of Fred Tam and I'll give them away. I'm very generous, okay? I think people should always be learning. And not everybody can afford a 3,000, 4,000 course. I totally get it. Buy the book from Popular, 60 ringgit. And if you watch it, I'm happy to contribute. If you're hardworking to learn, I'm hardworking to give. So warrant can limit up twice in a day, yes. Because, for example, MMT Corp C24, this is not our warrant, by the way. The upper limit was 44 cents. Previously, it was 44 the day before. So in the morning, it was 74 cents. And in the afternoon, it was 104. So yes, it is possible for warrants to limit up twice in a day. So the Bursa regulation, if you do want to check it out, if you don't believe me, over here, 4.2 Bursa regulations for POs. Now, just a recap for the beginners. Congratulations to the winners that I announced just now. Number 1, Kenya Tan. Number 2, because I was feeling generous, Shirley Hun and Alvin Hong. Number 3, Hong Ching Wan. Number 4, Wong Ka Ching. Number 5, Mac Win Chi. If I've not announced your names, just beautiful Joyce's handwriting. Then please send us your name, mobile details, and addresses so we can send you the prizes. And maybe I might throw in some extra goodies like a book as well. So useful links over here. Everything is available on Warrant Scanner, Naga Warrants. Live Matrix tool is available on Naga Warrants as well, educational videos. And now, IJM Plant, CE. So earlier this week, I was just doing my normal technical analysis run through, and it showed me that I like the stocks. Mike Win Chi sent to the private chat. And we have trading idea. Oh, sorry. Bursa Malaysia has the new listings, expiry corporate adjustments. We have a Telegram chat one-on-one, Naga Warrants team, and the webinar recordings are on YouTube at Kenanga channel. But what I want to show you is that on our Telegram channel, we actually do share our trading advice. Not trading advice, but trading ideas. So what we did was we analyzed IJM Plant the morning before it actually limit up. So it had this TAD breakout that I asked Afnan. So what I usually do is I would just have a look at the charts every single week. And I would just, analyze according to my own analysis. And just to give you guys an idea of what it takes to actually show a technical signal, I also asked him to show his charts and he gave me confirmation. He said, yes, Isabel, you're right, IJM Plant. So we gave this trading idea in the morning, including the bottom over here where we wrote number 1, technical uptrend, number 2, technical breakout, number 3, this is the warrant we recommend, IJM Plant CE, gearing is 3 times. So effective gearing of 3.13 times means that if it limit up, you have made 3 times that amount with the warrants. And just to prove to you, this guy, we send this trading idea out at 12:26 p.m., of course, before that, and it went out earlier on our WhatsApp chats. And of course, it limits it up in the afternoon session. Coincidentally, I don't have any insider news, just that looking at the trading ideas. And that wraps it up for my session. Thank you so much for joining. We'll have another session for beginners and advanced webinars on warrants specifically, where I'll cover 1 hour for beginners and 1 hour for advanced in 2 weeks from now. If you're interested, please go on to our Kenanga Facebook. If you like the session, please leave a nice comment there, because these webinars require budget, and I get a good budget if there's people watching it. Right, so end of story. Or leave us a good comment on the Kenanga YouTube under one of the videos. I would really appreciate that. Or else it'd be very hard for us to continue having these free webinars, and we don't actually plan on charging ever. So ladies and gents, thank you so much for joining us. We'll cover a bit more in the next beginner advanced session in 2 weeks. Have a great Saturday. Please check out those YouTubes on our Kenanga channel. And the winners, please send us your name, mobile address, and leave us a nice comment on YouTube. I really appreciate it. So we can buy books for you guys as well. Thank you. Bye.